So I found a new method in life. Look for anti-models. You go on a date. Look for girls you don't want to date. Be like, why wouldn't I want to date Becky? That's where the knowledge is. Look for anti-role models. Why don't I want to end up like Jim, who's 44? I'm in my 20s. Why don't I want to be there in over a decade? Talk to people who are like 65. Be like, what are they doing wrong? Like Taleb says, like, when you find somebody, don't ask, or it's like when there's a disaster, don't ask why it happened, ask why it wasn't worse. Like somebody's rich, like, I got 10 million. Ask, why don't you have 100? In your mind, maybe out loud. If you feel like getting it popping. You learn a lot that way about how people think, about their expectations, their ideas, their theories about the world. I talked to a lady who was like 57. She just got laid off from her job. And what seemed to emerge after talking to her was that she was probably a conspiracy theorist. She asked me if I was recording her. She said she didn't want to be known. She was hidden. A lot of clues there. But she had an IRA, a Roth. She told me, don't sleep on that when you're young. Like, focus on your financial independence. I was like, word. I got you. That's important. I'm like, are you rich? She's like, I'm comfortable. I never have to work again. I'm like, okay. Why isn't this lady rich though? She's 57. She has some years. I took away, the conspiracy theory, sort of like paranoia she was talking to me with, mixed with her maybe slight bit of intellectual arrogance. Maybe she thought she knew everything about the world. I say if you put those two together, that makes a person who's comfortable at 57 but not rich. No shade, just saying. She did well, she says. I don't know what that means. She didn't give me any numbers, any projections, but I asked myself, why didn't she do better? Why didn't you do better? Maybe if you were more open-minded, you would have tried some other things that were worked out in your life, lady. Less of a conspiracy theorist. Maybe if you were less cautious in your financial life, maybe she would have, and life in general, maybe she would have been wealthier. Stick out the tree. She seemed very cautious. She seemed very set in her own beliefs. A lot of them seemed like wrong, but who knows? Maybe they were after her. I don't know. That's a good starting place in life. Find people and ask them questions. Also, it's a good method because you're always around more people who you shouldn't be like, or you shouldn't look up to, than people you should. But spend that time, because that information is probably more important. Like the critique of bad theory is more important than the true theory. It's easier to understand the critique of a bad theory. And that's the information you need in life. Knowing when an option is wrong, or this is my definition of knowledge, like knowing when one option is suboptimal to the others. That means you really have the criteria in your own mind. It's not just, they say this was right. It's, this can't be right because of this, that, and the third. Right? And we've seen that in all these theories. Behaviorism can't be right because it makes the same mistake as Lamarckism. Right? In the theory of evolution, it makes the same mistake as group selection. Theory of evolution. Knowing that critique is the real knowledge. The ability to critique is the real knowledge. Create and critique. It's all forms of creativity. Find anti-role models. Patrick signing off.